Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This evening, the DPP appeals against High Court which acquitted the Jackie Maribe's case as she was approved innocent and Joey was approved guilty. When look the way case was handled, Kenyans came out asking themselves several questions. Because kuna kitu fulani hatuelewi hapa in terms of the judgment that came from the High Court of Kenya. As we speak, immediately Jackie Maribe was acquitted from the case of murder of Miss Kimani, and this involved her together with Joey that now is waiting to be fully jailed. Jackie Maribe was acquitted because, number one, there was no enough evidence that was going to prove that Jackie Maribe was guilty as per the statement that came from the High Court. Number two, though he was acquitted, remember the judge cited that Jackie Maribe came out giving two different statements. And in fact, they found it was a false statement. So she was to be accused of the false statement. So the judge came out giving her statement like this.
The evidence by the prosecution against the second accused person did not place the second accused person in the house of the deceased on the material night. There was no evidence that she had ever communicated with the deceased. The evidence that the prosecution have brought before this court on the second accused person relates to the events of 20th of September 2018, and that is the shooting incident. And in that regard, having considered the provisions of Section 129 of the Penal Code of Kenya, and the second accused person having had no objection to her two statements which she gave the police, one saying that the second accused person, the first accused, was shot in the house, and then retracting that statement the following day, only leads this court to the provisions of Section 129 of the Penal Code, which states as follows. That Section 128 creates an offense, which is an offense of giving information, false information, to a person employed in public service, and states as follows. Whoever gives to any person employed in public service any information which he knows or believes to be false, intending thereby to cause or knowing it to be likely that he will thereby cause the person employed in public service to do or omit to do something which the person employed in public service ought not to do or omit, if true state of facts respecting which such information is given were known to him, or two, to use lawful power of the person employed in public service to the injury.
Immediately, the judge freed Jackie Maribe. Remember, someone called Dennis Itumbi decided to attack the former DCI, George Kinoti. Then by that time, I asked myself, what is this that George Kinoti did against the expectations of Dennis Itumbi in terms of the case of Jackie Maribe? Was Dennis Itumbi an interested party defending Jackie Maribe when it comes to the murder case? Because even if you listen to the statement of Dennis Itumbi, you will be shocked. I want you to watch, but before we watch, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this video and you have not liked this video, please do me a favor, ensure you like this video. And if you're a visitor for the first time visiting this channel, ensure you subscribe. Don't forget to like this video. You give your opinion at the comment section below, and don't forget to share this video. I want you to watch whatever Dennis Itumbi said.
DCI boss called George Kinoti. George Kinoti was behind the whole of this case, was behind the arrest. We tried to tell him both directly and on social media and even on your media platforms that this arrest was misguided. This arrest was not driven by evidence but by emotion and by a rush of wanting to be on the headlines and to control a story that never existed. Today the court has affirmed what we have said, that for the last 6 years George Kinoti put an innocent person on the dock, knowing very well there was no evidence that put Jackie on the scene, that put Jackie on concealing any evidence, and the court has confirmed all that today. So we urge that in the future, those who are given the power to investigate and get the truth before parading people and destroying their career for 6 years. But for Jackie, she's now a phoenix. We wish her well as she rises above the ashes, and we will hold her hand so that she recovers and comes back to life.
Dennis, why Jackie?
When George Kinoti got the evidence of the murder, he knew that it was not quote-unquote sexy enough to bring to court. So what did he do? He noticed that there was a girlfriend of the chief suspect who was involved and who would command attention and who would make headlines and who would sell a story that would last and capture the imaginations of Kenyans, even if the evidence did not show that. In fact, I challenge you, John Allen, go read the Mazingira issue, which is a DCI magazine of November 2021. George Kinoti was interviewed in that magazine and was asked, what about prosecution? He said, I don't care about prosecution as long as people are arrested and charged in court and we get the headlines. That was George Kinoti, I'm quoting directly. So this was George Kinoti in his element. He just chose to go for a person who would attract headlines and got a person whose career was rising, had just become a news anchor, and was a good bait to bring to court so that we would have headlines. How will we reverse, even for you as journalists, how will we reverse 6 years of negative headlines? In fact, the first year after the arrest, there were 14 headlines placing Jackie as a murderer. How, even if she came back to court and sued these guys, how is she going to reverse the negative publicity across the world that came out of it? It is this kind of nonsense that must be dealt with, and George Kinoti must at one time stand on the dock and answer for those kind of things that he did.
But the opposing view?
As, of course, I will.
So Dennis Itumbi was very clear. He was very clear that it was Kinoti who dragged Jackie Maribe in this case. So according to Dennis Itumbi, Kinoti alifanya vibaya kwa kwamba the investigations, and according to the reports and the statement yenye ilikuwa inatoka kwa Jackie Maribe, and even court proving that Jackie Maribe ako na makosa kukuja kupatiana false information. But because Dennis Itumbi is having a big problem with Kinoti, surely, why should you come out and drag Kinoti towards the real investigated case, and even court amepata mtu mwenye ako guilty? Then you tell us that it was politically arranged. Now, Jackie Maribe was not a member of parliament or MCA. She was a journalist, news anchor at Citizen TV. In fact, she was the one who reported the news of the murder of Ms. Kimani. So the problem with this case is that there is a problem here. There is a problem here. Then now the DPP is feeling like the case was not handled in accordance as per the evidence and investigations were stipulated, despite even of the celebrations of Jackie Maribe and Dennis Itumbi. Immediately the judge declared Jackie Maribe innocent.
Jackie, how are you feeling?
Now, Kenyans' prayers is coming like being fulfilled. Immediately the judgment came. Some Kenyans were unsatisfied the way the case was handled. And some even came accusing Dennis Itumbi as someone that his hands is on that case, that made even Jack Maribe being acquitted from the case. So the DPP of Kenya is appealing. They are appealing against the High Court judgment which acquitted Jackie Maribe's murder case. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? What do you think? Drop your opinion at the comment section below. Otherwise, thank you so much. Because of your great support, please consider subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing this video. Bye bye. Till we meet on another video.